Welcome to Fatherhood for the Rest of Us with Brandon Handley. Because you're already great at everything else, why not fatherhood too?
Hey there, podcast fan. This is Brandon Handley, and thank you for tuning in to Fatherhood for the Rest of Us. As usual, we've got another great guest on the show today, Cardiff D. Hall, author of Tide Turners. He wrote this book at the beginning, released the book at the beginning of 2017, and it went straight to number one on the Amazon bestseller list in the personal development space. Cardiff and I have an amazing conversation where we cover all types of things from what it's like to write the book, what inspires you to write the book. Then there's, we cover being yourself. We cover what it's like to overcome adversity when you're trying to complete a project this size. He wrote this. Took him 3 years to put this book together, and it shows there's a lot of care that went into this book. There are a lot of tools that are available in this book that you may or may not find in a number of other places, but he's put them all together in one place, assembled such an amazing guide, and he does it with I'm going to call it grace. Such again, I really enjoyed our conversation. You'll see, you'll hear, how much we laughed. What a good time we had. I listened to a couple of his other podcasts, and he's like that on all of them. The energy's there. His energy was in here in abundance on this one for sure. Cardiff's still got a corporate job, but he's also working. He's working his way over towards being a full-time entrepreneur, being a full-time speaker and coaching, and you'll hear us talk a little bit about that as well, what it's like trying to straddle that and do it all on your own. It definitely takes quite a bit of effort to make it all happen. It's hard to do such a one-man show. So we're going to talk a little bit to him about his book, why he wrote it, what it's about, and then we're also going to talk a little bit about what it's like to be a father. It's what it's like to be a father, and try and do all that he is doing, and what fatherhood means to him. Not only that, what his daughter brought up, and the encouragement that he showed her, and what he talks about, what they're doing, which I think is awesome. You're going to find out more about that on the podcast as well, and then finally, stick around to the end where he's got a very special gift for you podcast listeners of this show. I can't thank him enough for being on the show. Classy character, professional, and just full of vibrant, great energy. Thanks again, Cardiff, for taking the time for popping on this show and sharing your story with Fatherhood for the Rest of Us. Also, Fatherhood for the Rest of Us crew, if you have not already signed up on the weekly mailer from Fatherhood for the Rest of Us, what's holding you back? Tell you what, you're gonna get some fantastic fatherhood tips, which is actually what I'm calling fantastic fatherhood tips. I'm gonna send them out once a week. They generally get out to you on Wednesdays, and I peruse, and I say, man, what could I use in my life right now? What would make me a better father right now? What can I learn, and then what can I share with my audience? This is something that I'm growing with you. We're growing together, and I just want to share what I'm learning. So make sure you sign up for that mailer. And then finally, if you want to reach out to me, you can certainly do so. I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear what you're thinking of the show. What some of your fatherhood stories are. Let me know what some of your fatherhood stories are. Let me know what it's like with your father. What it's like being a father. Any fatherhood story, you got one. I'll tell you what, everybody's got a fatherhood story. And finally, if you would like to, like I said, reach out to me, do so at brandon@fatherhoodfortherestofus.com. Or if you'd like to reach out to me on a social media platform, feel free to do so. You can generally find me on Brandon G. Handley, and that would be on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also join our private. This is a men's only club. Sorry, ladies, but we're doing a fatherhood club where we get in there and we deal with being a father, and it's done in a manner where we're all just trying to take care of each other and not kumbaya, taking care of each other, but supporting each other in the sense of if you're facing challenges, bring them up in there. If you're having a celebration, we're gonna celebrate with you. If you're doing awesome things, man, we're doing it together. Let's just get in there. Make sure you sign up for that and see what's going on. You don't want to miss a thing. Without further ado, hop on in and enjoy this podcast.
Perfect.
And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey there, podcast listeners. I am on here today with Cardiff D. Hall. He has a passion for life and helps individuals transfer their self-being so they can reach and sustain achievement. Cardiff's book, Tide Turners, the practical guide to help you feel in control, experience more joy, and sustain achievement in life, earned a #1 new release on Amazon in January 2017. He is an individual who radiates positively and coaches individuals by helping them turn tide in their life to achieve. He also provides weekly inspiration and practical advice in his Tide Turners newsletter. Cardiff, it's a pleasure to have you on here. And before we even just jump into it, let's talk about something we can celebrate, man. Like, what is something that you're celebrating today?
Oh man, you know what? I just celebrated a birthday. And it's not the 50 birthday, but I'm getting close to that 50-yard line in life, Brandon. And you may not be able to see this, but I'll reach down in my bag here. I have to read. I have cheaters now, 1.25 cheaters. So I'm celebrating the fact that I'm getting older, but as I'm getting older, I'm getting wiser, and I'm loving life right now. So regardless of using cheaters to read the small print, man, I love where I am right now.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I love getting older, man. I literally thought that my 39th birthday was my 40th. Yeah. I was very confused. It was like about a month away. And everybody's like, well, dude, you're not turning 40. I said, come on, man. I got to wait a year. Right. It's like getting a license. Right. It's different. Cause like when you get to that age, you can you've got certain license to you can wear cheaters soon. Like you can like wear like big old Coca-Cola glass and be like, what? I'm 50. Right. I mean, that's just kind of where it's at.
And some people would say that's not a celebration, but I celebrate that because one, I woke up on my birthday, and I have got a 8-year-old daughter, which is awesome. So I get to see her grow up as well, and a wife. So life is full. It's a blast, and I'm blessed, man. So that's why I celebrate. I celebrate that I got 1.25 cheaters, and that is life. And you know what? I love it.
That's awesome. Are you going to get a shirt? You should get a shirt that just says 1.25 cheaters. That would look good. That'd look good on you too, man. I know it would. But
that's good stuff. Hey, it's a pleasure to be here, Brandon, with you. It's just a blast, and I appreciate our friend who connected us.
Absolutely, yeah. A big thanks out to Mark Lemaster, who I'm assuming you guys met through. I'm assuming you met through your Carrie
Overbrunner. Correct.
So let's just get it going here. We'll get it rolling. Again, thrilled to have you on here. Let's talk about how you you just released a book.
Right.
Let's talk about Tide Turners. Getting that into the #1 release. What category, if you don't mind my asking, because I did not look that up.
Yeah, so the category is placed under self-help or personal success. Okay, that's where it's classified. So if you go into Amazon, you can check out the various categories. There's a lot of books. 80,000 plus titles. And I first met Mark through a group called Author Academy Elite, and the chief operating officer of that, or president of that, it's Carrie Oberbrunner. Carrie Oberbrunner is a very successful entrepreneur. He was in the sector life as a pastor, and then he left that and started his business. And it's just amazing to work with him and have somebody guide me and coach me through this whole process. Quite frankly, Brandon, if you were to ask me Cardiff, are you going to write a book one day? And that was, that question was posed to me, Brandon, let's say 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
Right.
I would have said, dude, are you kidding me? I don't have time for that, man. That is
Right.
not my wheelhouse. I am not a writer. I don't know what you're talking about, whatever. And here I am. And
Right.
it's
Right. You got it. I mean, not only have you written a book, and so, 4 years ago, you've also got a 4-year-old at that point, right? You're like, you got a child underfoot. You've got all kinds of things going on. You're working in the corporate world. You're grinding it out. And I mean, not only did you write a book, but you got a coach to go along with that too, right? And
right.
So, I mean, would you have even said to yourself 4 years ago, I'm going to have a coach, and am I going to have a coach? I'm going to write this book, and I'm like, I want a coach too.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Well, here was my philosophy on coaching. And this is maybe a corporate philosophy, and your listeners, if you work in corporate America, or if you don't, or if you're an entrepreneur, but my philosophy several years ago was I didn't need a coach because I was good enough. I could do it on my own. And as a male, when you say, I don't need a coach, you're like, I got this. That's maleism, right? That I got this. I can do it on my own. What I quickly realized, as I started to invest in personal development, as I started to study successful people who I deemed successful, I found out there were a couple things that they did. They had a coach or a mentor, strong mentor in their life. They read a lot of books. They invested in themselves, personal development, and they just kept learning and learning and learning. And I was looking through like, I want to be that. I'm like, oh, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do that. and I invested with my first coach, and he completely changed my mindset. And I've had since my, I call it my awakening. Since my awakening, Brandon, I've had 4 coaches who all have been tremendous in the advancement of where I'm going.
I also I'm doing this because of coaches. I'm on my second coach, and it is life-changing.
Yeah.
And I agree with you to the fact that, hey, up until a point, I'm like, I got this. I don't need this. I got that. I'm good, man. What else do I need? I got a house. I got bills. I got children. I got all these things. I'm just like you guys. We're all cool. We're all cool. I got, but then you're like, and for me, and this is what I actually went to my coach with. This was after I just gotten done reading, I think I just gotten done reading a Zig Ziglar book, and I hadn't been a big reader for 20 plus years. And even before, I'd never read a self-help book. I mean, let's talk picking up a self-help book and plowing through that, and then being excited to do that. Right.
Yeah.
That's a weird feeling. I mean, can you tell me about how you're feeling when you, you wrote a self, I mean, I wouldn't classify yours as it is a self-help, but it's a guide. It's a guide. Right. It's a very good guide. Absolutely. So, I mean, talk to me about that.
Yeah. So I'll back up, and you said an important thing is that, you decided to get in, like, I need a coach. I need someone to help me out. And you came to that self-actualization. And that's where true transformation can happen, Brandon. It is when we are honest with ourselves and we answer questions that are hard questions to answer, but we do them anyway. And one thing is, I say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Okay. And I wasn't ready several years ago. Even if I could have heard of Carrie Oberbrunner, I wasn't ready.
Right.
But he was out there doing his thing, and eventually the universe is lined up, and all of a sudden I'm listening to an EO Fire episode by John Lee Dumas, and he's talking about the publishing industry, and this guy is going, I'm like, oh, I'm getting into the publishing industry, but I don't know anything about the publishing industry.
Right.
And if I'm going to write this book and I want it to impact lives, well, let me see what he has to offer. And then, just like anything else, life gets in the way, Brandon, right? So I sign up for the webinar. I don't have time to make the webinar.
Right.
Something hits me Sunday afternoon after church. And I'm like, I tell my wife, I have to be on a webinar. It's a recording. It goes dark after him. It'll be an hour. The webinar was almost 2 hours, but it was one of the best webinars that I've been on. And I decided to fill his application out. and I was accepted into the program. And that's where I met Mark Lemaster,
Okay.
who was way ahead. He was way ahead of me in the process, but he and I connected, and he was just a great asset to have. And that's what a coach can do. A coach can bring you around other people. And I know with my own group, the Ty Turner VIPers, this group is on fire, Brandon. You know, these are people that I coach. These are people that have specific goals. They want to be productive. They want more in life, and they're doing it. And it's, as a coach, you're like, man, I am so proud of my clients. I'm so proud of them because they're taking and implementing, and I see the results and just the smiles on their faces. Just the whole body transformation is amazing.
I mean, that's got to feel amazing for you, especially since, I mean, you're still in a corporate gig, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correct. I'm still
right there. I mean, look, you got to go to work, you got to do this, but there's like a 20 decibel energy drop right there, right? And you're just
totally,
like, I do still have a job. I mean, and so, I mean, with the coaching, that's like, your energy level is just through the roof because you're seeing people through and I'm not going to say seeing them through tough times, just seeing them in amazing and awesome times, right? And that's awesome.
Exactly. I talked to a guy yesterday, and he was down, and you know, I did the best to try to okay, let's get some clarity. And that's one thing I do with my clients. I really help them gain clarity, because if we don't have clarity, we're just going to spin. I call it, you know, I talk about the hamster wheel in Ty Turner's, right?
That's right.
And it's just the same thing every single day. You're just trying the treadmill. You come home, you do this, and you just get lost. And helping them bring clarity. And then this morning I get an email from him. It's like, wow. I'm like, I didn't really think I did anything special, right? But to him, it's like, man, I just brought him up. I changed his mindset. And he's like, oh my gosh, I see possibilities now. Like, yes, you see possibilities. Every single person walking on this planet, they have greatness within them, and they have to be able to see that no matter the circumstance. So I talk about that in Ty Turner's, as you know.
That's right. I think you know what you got a lot of you've got a lot of awesome information in Ty Turner's, and
thanks.
I want to try and steer this in a couple ways that I haven't heard on some of the other episodes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I listened to all the ones that I could find. So
okay.
You're good in every one of them.
Oh, thank you, man.
You're good in every one of them.
Thank you, brother.
One of the ones that you talk about the 6 Mass, right? That was one topic that you covered, and the other thing that I kind of wanted to get my hands around or just talk about is just the whole oceanic boat thing you got going on here, which speaks to me quite a bit. I come from a Nordic heritage where Vikings are big, right?
Yeah.
And so boats are big for me, and I envision when you're talking being the captain of your own boat, man. I'm like, I would love to be the captain of my own boat. Yeah, let's put the sails into the wind to where they need to be. Right now, let's navigate this thing. So let's talk a little bit about the 6 masts for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things that I was very that I wanted to do was get this whole navigational water thing, and I didn't know anything about boating, and so so I gotta be truthful with you or yourself. I had to do some research on this book, just because that. I knew if someone like yourself was a master of boating, right, would know the terminology, and I didn't know the terminology. It's like, okay, well, I got to make it truthful, right? I got to make it so someone would believe that, okay, if they're out at sea, do they have their navigational equipment to maneuver, and if something happens, what's going to happen, and are their sails rip, what's going to happen? So that's the premise, and I take the listener or the reader on this journey, and it's all about you being the captain of your boat, right? So we start out and we're in the middle of the ocean, and I call that's kind of life. We're in this middle of the ocean, and we wake up and like, well, how did I get here? Like, where am I going? And so we head back to shore. Like, we got to figure this thing out. And sometimes it's an awakening. Sometimes it's something that happens that we didn't expect to happen, Brandon, but it brings us down to our knees, right? It brings us back to shore. And then you get back up from that, or you reassess yourself, you ask yourself a lot of tough questions, you make some changes in your life, and then like, okay, now how do I set out on course? But towards the end of the book, I talk about the six masks. And so the six masks are something that we all need to do, but it's hard to do. So Brendan Bouchard, one of my mentors, says that common sense isn't always common practice. And these are easy. So the very first mask is you got to believe in yourself. You see, if there's not a belief in self, then you can't do much, right? Because if you haven't done something that you want to do, like I wrote this book, I wrote this manuscript, and the one thing I knew is I could do this. Now, Brandon, did I know how to do it? No.
Sure. No,
I didn't. My number one strength finder is activator. So I'm going to act on something. And so I started to write. And I'm like, I didn't know that. I just didn't know how to format it. I just started to write. And I'm like, what am I going to write about? I don't know. I just started like to map out chapters. So that's the very first mask that you need.
Right.
The second mask is you need to spend time visualizing. And I wasn't a big visualizer, Brandon. I remember I would think of things like, oh, I want to do that next year. I want to go there. But I just wouldn't like put it in my mind. And it's funny that if you watch TV and you see these like commercials all the time, right? And like, why are they running Ford commercials all the time? Or like this truck and all of a sudden, what happens? You see that truck on the highway.
I've got that truck in my driveway.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. But here, whatever it is, it could be a truck commercial. It could be whatever. It could be a product. And all of a sudden, you've seen so many impressions of it, right, in your mind.
Right.
Now it just happens to appear. And so that can happen when you visualize, and there's special, you Google, Google your favorite thing and, look at visualization techniques, but spend time visualizing where you want to go today for 2018. One of the things I'm doing with my clients right now, I am challenging them. What is it that you want to accomplish in 2018? What is it? What date or what month do you want to accomplish it? And let's talk about that today, not on January the 1st, today. And they're like, oh man, you're tough. I'm like, no, I'm not tough. That's how people get ahead. That's how the top 1% move forward, because they're thinking about next year now. They're not waiting until January. Yeah,
we're choosing specific dates, and we're choosing why we choosing specific dates.
You're choosing because then you're forcing your mind to figure out a way to make that come true, right? Okay. Even I have a lady they're building a house, and of course there's a lot of things that are involved with the house. So she's like, okay, well this month is when it's going to be done. I'm like, perfect, that's great. But if we don't have that date on the calendar, it just won't happen. Because we put things on the calendar that are important to us, right? And if it's not on the calendar, we don't do it. We think we're going to do it, but like if we say I'm going to work out 5 days a week, well, it's not on my calendar, so guess what? It kind of just drops on my priority list. Like, oh, okay, it's not a big enough priority, so it just drops. So the third mask you need to have is commitment to excellence. And this is where true mastery comes in. I love that word mastery, because I aspire to be a master of writing. I aspire to be a master of the spoken word, of a communicator. And you have to work your way up to that. You have to really work your way. When I think of golf, I'm a big sports fan. And you wonder why today, every major tournament, there's not repeat winners. There's some, some go back to back, but consistently, why isn't there consistent winners in an individual sport like golf? There's no true master yet. There's no true master. There's a lot of great players, but every course is different. You've got different win. There's so many things, but to be a true master is to be able to eliminate all of those different variables and continue to push yourself. So that's the third mask. The fourth mask is all about, you have to be resilient. So resilient is heading in the face of adversity, or heading in the headwinds that are going to push you down, are going to ruffle your feathers. You're like, why is this happening to me? But you still get up.
Yeah.
That's about being resilient. One of the stories that you read about was, I've been writing the manuscript for, it was about 75% complete in terms of what I thought complete. It was around the holiday time frame. I was writing, and then I opened up my computer close to the holidays, and I saw the blue screen of death.
Mm-hmm.
Never a good sign to see your computer screen go blue.
Not cool.
Not cool. However, I'm like, cool, I've seen this before. Shut down, take out the battery, it'll restart. Did not restart. I had been saving my manuscript periodically, Brandon. So it wasn't saved all the time. I went to Best Buy, went to the Geek Squad. They said, Mr. Hall, no problem. We'll take a look at it. We can do what we can with to recover it. Great. I went back to writing. I'm like, okay, next chapter. Let's start to write. They said, Mr. Hall, it's going to take about 3 to 4 months. 3 to 4 months. Okay.
And you're just about done. You're like, you're ready to press send.
Yeah, exactly. And so I remember it was like yesterday. I got the call. It was an automated call. Your computer's ready for pickup, Brandon. And they didn't really leave. I mean, it was just a computer automated voice. And I called. I'm like, hey, this is Mr. Hall. I just want to know, did you recover the file called manuscript? And they're like, no, in fact, we recovered no files. That was a major headwind for me.
Yeah.
I could have said, you know what? I can't, I don't even want to recall what I wrote. I can't even, because you write and it's, you're writing a 30,000, 40,000 page document.
Right.
And I remember calling my friend Chris. I said, Chris, here's what's going on. He's like, don't worry about that, man. He said, you've grown. The manuscript will be better. You need to start over.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I mean, that's resilience. That's saying, you know what? All these obstacles in front of me, this happened. I didn't plan on this. Was it my fault? Absolutely was my fault, because I was the one who didn't back it up. Right. And see, when we can accept that personal responsibility and we have that resiliency, there's no stopping. There's no stopping people. Right. But they have to push through resilience. So that's point number 4. Point number 5, it's all about being accountable. Right. So in the Author Academy Elite program, we had a group of us. Mark was at a certain point and I was at a certain point, and I had my game plan for the week. And I knew, like, my goal was to write 5,000 words or 3,000, whatever it was, Brandon. I held myself accountable. Mark was there. He was supporting me. He was like, hey, he was always checking in. How you doing on this? I better get going.
It's just about done.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to be held accountable, and we need to hold ourselves up to that level of accountability so we can succeed. And the last thing was, I saw this picture and I posted it in my group. It was this little baby, and it was in the kitchen, and it was cleaning the dishes, and it was cleaning the sink. And he had a smile on his face. Right. And was talking about being positive in any type of situation. Right. And that's the last mask on your ship, is this mask of positivity. Right. I say, you know what? I look at all the successful people, and they're not grumpy. They're not grumpy people, right? They may be drivers, but all of them have a positive outlook on where they're going or where they're leading their company. They all have this positive outlook. And so it's with these 6 masks that, if one of them rips, it's going to impact the sail. It's going to impact your trajectory in the ocean. That's right. And so these 6 masks really are the precipice and the platform for the journey of life. And if you have these 6 things and you're willing to, invest and grow and master, these 6 things, right, there's nothing that one cannot do. Now, one has to work at it,
Sure.
And that's, I think there's a quote that says, beware what you want, because it's work that's facing you looking at you in the back, in the rearview mirror.
Right.
It's work.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yes, I have a corporate job. I have a speaking career. I've got, a coaching career. This is all on the side.
Right.
It's work.
Yeah.
Brandon, I'm telling you, man, it's work.
It's not easy.
This is not easy.
Not easy.
It's not easy, but I see the impact that it has on my clients. I see the impact that just from people I don't even know who are reaching out to me.
Right.
It's amazing. I had this lady, Brandon, it was on a weekend, I remember, and she heard one of the podcasts and she reached out to me. Again, I did not know her. And man, she just shared her story with me. And bottom line, she said that, you know what? I just love what you have, because it just lifts my spirits.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Man,
I
almost cried on that one.
Right. Look, it's a beautiful world, right? Like, because we are now in a period of time where, dude, this thing is going to go out. There's a potential of 7 billion people downloading it. Now, listen, if I got that kind of spike, that's great. But
hey, number one on Apple.
Number one on Apple. Oh man, you got to envision it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But what I love is exactly that. Is that we send this out there. We put something together. We have another thing that you'd mentioned was courage in the book, right? We have this courage. We have the audacity to believe in ourselves and to share, and we can touch people.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And when that comes back to you, man, it lifts you right on, lifts you off your feet, lifts you off your feet.
It does. And I reached out to the lady, and I was just thankful that she shared her story with me and what was happening in her life. And she's like, if I can make a book signing, I'll come. And I'm like, you know what? What's your address?
Oh, no.
I just sent her a book.
Awesome.
I just sent her a book. I'm like, don't worry about it. I said, don't know. I said, this is my gift for you.
That's great.
Right? Here's a book for you.
That's good. She's going to remember that forever, man. I mean, how many people are out there? I mean, how many people are out there sending books out, signing them? I mean, and it means a lot to her.
It means a lot. Yeah, absolutely. It means a lot to her. And, there's stories and stories after that, but I've been blessed to have the ability to do this, Brandon. And I love it, man. You can, I get fired up when I talk about this stuff.
Absolutely.
You've heard me on other podcasts, but I'm the same guy. I'm just like, this is who I am. And I just want to project that into people so they can gosh, I have been drifting, and let me and see, once you realize that, and now I talk about this in the book too. I was at a very comfortable life. I mean, I got a house, I take vacations. I live a very good life. Right.
Yeah,
I've been blessed. But there was something inside me, and it was the awakening that I don't talk about this story in the book, but I'll share it with you, Brandon, and your listeners. But I was on a flight from Baltimore to Minneapolis, and I got upgraded because I fly a lot. I was in first class. I was on the right side of the plane by the window on the second row. And kind of a gloomy day, we take off and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And I pop my computer up and I'm just going to work, right? Because that's what I do. That's what I did back in the day. So I just started working, and literally I turn my head and look out, and I hear this voice that says, write a book. Now, I've never had anyone that could, people would say, well, that was your subconscious mind talking to you. That was this. And there's only one person I know. It's called God. That's just my personal belief. Sure. And so I ignored it. I said, whatever. I went back to my
at your own risk.
Exactly. I ignored it, and I said, no, I'm just going to go back to my stuff, and I'm just typing away, getting my thing done. And then I hear it again. Now it's a little louder, a little stronger, a little firmer.
Hey, Cardiff, real quick, not to interrupt, but if God's talking to me and I'm on a plane, I'm listening.
Right.
I'm just saying, but go ahead. Keep on. I'm like, look, guys, so go ahead.
But so Brandon, so this time he got my attention. This time I lean back in my seat, and I'm like, and then I'm beginning to have this conversation with someone with God. And I'm like, didn't you know I didn't go to school to be a writer? You see, I don't have time. I travel a lot. I'm making all of these, excuses. Okay. There were excuses.
Right.
And then I just shrug it off. I state my case to the judge, right? And I'm like, no, okay, here's, yeah, I know what you want me to do, but I'm going to give you all my reasons why I can't do that.
Sure.
And so I went back to my getting back to email. And then the third time it came, this book, and I leaned back, I reached inside my briefcase. I got out an 8.5 by, a pad. And I began to sketch titles for this book that I didn't know how to write. I came home, told my wife, she's like, you're going to write a book. And I'm like, well, yeah. And I'm like, well, yeah, here's what happened. And I said, here's 2 titles. Which one do you like the best?
Right.
She's like, I like this title. Great. We start tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
She's like, no, you start tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Listen.
There's no we.
There's only we when she says we. That's what I've come to learn. Right. And when she says we, that means me. And you get it,
Oh my goodness. So and the next morning, Brandon, I woke up and I just started to put this thing just to write. And I'm like, where is this coming from? And then I sit here today, 3.5 years later, talking to you, looking at the people that have impacted, because this message, which is ordained by God, man, it's amazing. It's amazing if we stop listening to the I call it the critics in our minds that just block us from doing great things. You don't have to write a book. Maybe you want to run a marathon. Maybe you want to, whatever you want to do, whatever it is. The people say, you know what, you can't do that.
You've got a good portion in your book of a number of words that will not serve you. It's like, hey, get rid of these words. Right?
Oh, get rid of those. Yeah. Shoulda. Yeah. If you say shoulda, take that out of your vocabulary. Right. Well, I shoulda do, or coulda, I coulda or woulda.
Right.
No, those are not serving you. You see, our language, I took this online course. The instructor was talking about language that we use. And I'm like, well, I don't use profanity. He wasn't talking about that. Mm-hmm. He was talking about the language that sabotage us from success, sabotage us from achievement. Like, well, I tried that diet, didn't work. That's not serving anyone. That's not serving you. Instead of saying, okay, I tried that diet. Now, how can I make it better? What can I do differently? Who can help me? Can I hire a coach? Well, that costs money. Yes, it does. It does cost money. How important is it to you that you get fit or lose weight? Or, well, okay, then it's not going to. If it's not important to you, and if it doesn't emotionally hit you here in the soul, you're not going to do it. Right. That's why so many people peter out. When it comes to, if you go to the gym, I know you do, Brandon, the gyms are full in January.
Yeah.
What happens in March?
Yeah.
It's not warm out where I am.
I just know there's an extra lane in the pool for me by March. That's what I know.
Right,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? By March, I'm like, could somebody please stop coming to the gym?
Right. Exactly, man. They're gone.
Stop using my equipment.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, hallelujah. If you're a consistent follower, you're like, it'll come. Yep. Yep. That's what happens. That's what happens. Yeah. And it's sad because so many people have the ability to transform themselves, yet they have all these things that they say to themselves. It's what we say when we're alone by ourselves that really can impact our trajectory or non-trajectory in life.
When do you think you picked up on that, the language part?
Wow. Yeah, man. So now where I am today is, I call it version 3.0 Cardiff to where I've come from. But I was like you. I didn't pick up a book because we're so trained and we go through college and we're just books. And I'm like, I'm done reading. And then we just like, I don't want to read, right? Yeah, unless my boss or my manager is paying me to do something, I'm not going to do it. And we fall into that trap. And so 5 years ago, I fell into this personal development thing, and I'm like, what's personal development? And I started reading John Maxwell, and I started reading Darren Hardy, and now I've got a collection of books. Now, I wasn't a reader.
Right.
Now I'm consuming a book about every month.
Yeah.
About every month, something goes into my mind, and I'm working on my mindset. And I'm just trying to pick up, like, if I take one nugget of this book, just one,
that's all you
right?
need.
That's all you need. You don't need to implement everything. So if you don't have Ty Turner's, just get the auto books coming out soon, or just get the book. Just take one nugget. If you can take that one nugget and then compound it, because we know that if we do things over and over,
come on, Darren Hardy,
absolutely, Darren Hardy, man.
There you go.
It's the compound effect.
Yeah,
it's a compound effect.
Yeah,
we may not see the change. It's like kind of like going out, working out, and you're like, well, I don't see the weight coming off, and so we stop, right?
Yeah,
and all of a sudden, you keep doing what you've been doing, and all of a sudden 6 months goes by, a year, like, oh my gosh, my pants are loose. What's going on here? Right. So because we live in this age of instant gratification.
Yeah.
Instant, because we need something, Google it, we tweet, and then all of a sudden we're trying to do something that called weight loss, for example, and we're like, oh, I want to use 15 pounds, and it didn't happen in month one, and so we give up.
Yeah, there's no app for that.
No, and and that's where it says we can't give up, because we haven't compounded enough, right? So that it just will multiply and multiply. And it's just one example, but your listeners, you can take whatever it is that you want to do. And I want to encourage you right now. This will go out on August 11th, I believe.
That's right.
Today, I want you listening right now. If you're driving, don't stop. Keep driving. but when you get home, if you're walking, okay, you can stop. But what I want you to do, listener, I want you to write down what is one thing you want to accomplish in 2018. Mm-hmm. I want you to write it down on August 11th. Write it down. I want you to put it up somewhere you can see it every single day. And then I want you to apply a date to it. When is it that you want to accomplish it by? Now, even if you don't know how to do it, we're not going to worry about the process right now. Right. I want to train your mind to begin to look for the answer starting in August, so you can achieve what you want. Because that's that gap, that's the journey, right? Once we put something out into the universe, we said, okay, I'm going to get out of debt in 2018. Well, how are you going to do that? I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Right? All right. I'm like, okay, mind, let's go to work. And I'm like, so we get so caught up in like, well, I can't do that. So Brandon, we get so caught up that we stuff our mental capacity to be able to really kind of like, okay, not sure how it's going to go, but I'm moving forward and I need some help. Yeah. So can I find a financial coach to help me? Can I do? And so our mind will look for possibilities, but when we close off our ability to see that, then all we see is, this is going to be hard. I can't do it. I don't know how this is going to happen.
Well, especially like you're saying, in the instantaneous era that we live in, we expect things to happen right now, right away. Yes. But if we just put it out there, give ourselves the freedom to try to do something, because I think that can be another daunting thing, to have the expectation of ourselves to make it happen within 30 minutes or less. Exactly. Right? I mean,
hey, you can make a meal for under 30 minutes,
Yeah,
everything's 30 minutes or less. And
everything's 30 minutes or less. Yeah.
We get caught in this, like, even like, because we both work out, and there's there's so many fitness people out there, like, oh, you can lose, so much weight in, the time. Like, wait a minute. There's a lot behind the process of losing weight the right way. Yeah. Right. And we get fixed like, oh, the quick is still going to be, it's going to be fast and easy. Like, no, if it was easy and fast, everyone would be walking around like you want. Yeah. And it's not. No. And it's a process. But you said something that's important, Brandon. We need to give ourselves the grace. Right. Because, and I'm an activator when things don't go right. It's like, oh man, even myself, I have to like do something to to like get me out of my funk.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah. It's like, oh, this didn't go right. Technology, this or this. And
I'm telling you, all day for me, man. All day for me. It's been a battle.
Right. And instead of saying, ooh, what can I learn from this?
Yeah.
That's different, because now it's like, woe is me, to what can I learn? And now your brain is like, oh, there was something to learn through this bad experience. Yeah, there is.
Now, Cardiff, I love it. I did it today. I'm telling you, man. But
Yeah.
it was in my head. I'm like, what have I got to learn? I was like, you shut up.
Yeah.
There's nothing to learn here. We are pissed. You know? So I mean, even you gotta, and you with your resilience, you gotta keep at it too. It doesn't. I don't think that it hasn't been for me very hard.
Mm-hmm.
It has come over time, but it is that resilience. You've got to stick with it. You've got to develop it over time. You've got to sit there and say, all right, maybe today didn't work out super awesome, but I learned. I mean, I'll invite you to my closed Facebook group today. I did one today on this. I did one today on this exact same thing. I said to myself, man, I battled all day long with the computer and just trying to make a video. But what I knew and what I learned was I can build a supercomputer on Google for free and use it in the cloud to make all my digital dreams happen today. So I spun it around a little bit, and I did my battle. And I learned stuff today. So I learned a lot today.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I challenge my clients, and I do the same thing at the end of every single day, journal.
Mm-hmm.
What did I learn? Question mark. Mm-hmm. Force your mind to go back through your day and and challenge yourself. And I want you to do that tonight. So listen tonight, August 11th. Okay. Write down, what did I learn today? In a journal. If you don't journal, that's okay. Yeah. I encourage you to do journal, but write on a piece of paper.
And that took you a while. That took you a while to get to. Right?
Oh, it took me. I was not a journaler.
Oh, yeah.
And see, I thought journaling was
not for Cardiff.
Not for me, right? I don't need journaling. I have my thoughts in my mind, right? Yeah, that's how and I had and Brandon, here's the funny thing, as I'm now I'm a goal guy. I was never. I had my.
Were you not a goal guy before?
No, you kidding
really?
me?
No, I'm not. Yeah.
No, Brandon,
look, you're giving me hope. Is all I'm saying.
No, Brandon. Here's the thing. I was doing well.
Sure.
You see, I was doing my career is doing well. I mean, I was doing well. So why should I set up goals? That was my thought process. Yeah. That was my thought, because I'm doing well. I don't need goals. Mm-hmm. And I think so many people are walking around with that same philosophy. Yeah. Well, Cardiff, Brandon, everything's good in my life. I don't need goals.
Right.
Well, what if you did have a goal? Yeah. How much more would it be?
But Cardiff, it's scary, man. It's scary to write down a goal, right? What happens if I write down a goal and I don't make it?
Right. Exactly.
What happens then? But I mean, I think so. It's August 11th. We're writing down a goal. What are we writing down in the journal?
Yeah, we're right. What did I learn? So tonight. So tonight, it'll be a weekend. So over the weekend, tonight, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, whenever you're listening to this, next week, whenever, write it down. What did I learn? Just from at the end of the day, what did I learn? And you better have put something down. Yeah. You will force your mind to go back through your day, and you're going to sit back and you're like, oh my gosh, I did not learn anything today. Seriously? Yeah. Now, if you want to just be honest with yourself, if you did not learn anything today and it comes up blank, you can't think of anything that you learned in your job, the way you communicated with your family, the way that you, whatever. Yeah. Maybe it's like in your actions you need to learn. Well, I was kind of rude to someone who cut me off. Okay. Okay. What can you learn? Well, so we just have to be, again, self-awareness is the first step to true transformation.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, we could do this all day. I know,
man.
We could do this all day. All right, look, but we gotta keep it going, right? So I also want to let the listeners know, let's talk a little bit about your daughter, how she comes into your life, what the story is with that. I think that's huge.
Yeah,
let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. So my wife and I, we couldn't have children, and we started to look at the adoption route. And so we were looking at adoption routes in the U.S., adoption routes in different countries, and we wanted to start this family. And so we decided to go with the U.S. And it's just an amazing process, Brandon, quite frankly. And it took longer than I thought. Again, just like any goal, right? It takes longer than you think, but you just endure. You keep moving forward. And we finally got matched. We met the birth mom. We met she was by herself. The birth father was not there around. We met her parents, wonderful people. And our daughter was born, and we went down, and we had to stay down in Florida for a number of days. But it really has been an amazing process. She definitely has taught me so many things about fatherhood, so many things about, being patient, putting the phone away when you're with your loved one, your daughter, your wife, whoever. Matter of fact, last week, Mark Lemaster, I saw this from him. I think he's the one. It was take your daughter on a walk day.
Yeah.
And I got that email. I'm like, this was Thursday, and it was supposed to, on Friday. I'm like, well, oh yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to move things around my schedule to make this happen.
Right.
And so we had the best time together. Yeah. I decided to say, hey, we're going to go walk around one of the lakes here in the Minneapolis area. And then I said, you know what, let's do a scavenger hunt. She's like, okay, let's do that, Daddy. So she takes my phone out, and I said, well, okay, what are we going to look for? And so she's making up this game, right? She's saying, we want to find 5 bicycles, 5 people who are riding bicycles. We want to find a woman who's talking on the phone, and she's being very specific. And then we're as we're walking around this lake, we're looking for these things, and we're just joking and having a great time. And she's like, okay, Daddy, over there. And so she uses these, icon with emojis next to each one. She knows emojis better than I do. She's 8 years old. Right?
That's the way it should be.
That's right. But here's, we just bonded, right? My cell phone wasn't out, wasn't tweeting, wasn't checking Facebook. I was emotionally present with my daughter. And I mean, that's what being a father needs to be present with their daughter or son, wife, being present with them. So she's blessed. I'm blessed to have. She's my only one, so she's a little spoiled, Brandon.
Yeah.
Okay. But
okay,
she's the queen.
That's right.
she's the queen.
She's gonna ruin some dude later. That's okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
I'm like, man, I pity the person. The man she's high maintenance, and I guess I have that to be, because she's my only one.
You know what? Here's one of the things that I appreciate about that is like you're teaching her to even if she you feel like she's high maintenance, she values herself.
Yeah. She's very confident.
And that she knows what she wants. And she expresses it. I mean, high maintenance or not, I think that there's a lot of us that lose that as we grow up, and we don't say, hey, this is what I want. These are my, not necessarily demands, but this is what I want in my life. And let's talk about it and voice it. So I think you're doing it. You're not spoiled. You're just teaching her how to, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and one of the things that came out of this is I was working one evening. She comes downstairs and she says, Daddy, I want to start a business. And I'm like, for the summer. I'm like, really? And when she kind of has an idea, she's like me, she kind of has to activate it.
Yeah.
And she's telling me all this, and I'm like, okay, good. Okay, can you? Okay, good, go.
Like she's like whiteboarding it out.
Yeah, exactly. and so I'm working with my coach, and I'm telling him about the story. He's like, Cardiff, you need to create this program for kids, Tide Turner Kids. Yeah. And I said, well, I'm going to do a Tide Turner Kids book starting in the fall. He goes, no. You still do the book, but do a program just for the summer, allow your daughter to name it, and make it so that at the end of like a 7-day program, the kids have the foundation to start their own business.
Right.
And now, since I'm in the consumer products goods industry, I've worked with major companies in that your listeners would know as they walk down Target or they walk down a grocery store. I do that. I do the marketing, I do the sales, so I know how to launch a product.
Okay.
So I started to put this, program into place, and I said, okay, it's time to name our program. What should we call it? She's like, Summer Sizzler. I'm like, nice. Okay, nice. So it's the program, Brandon, is called Tide Turner Kids Entrepreneurs Summer Sizzler program. It's a free program. Every single day, you will get, you as the being parent or the not significant other, the responsibility person,
whoever else is helping you do the thing that you're
exactly.
doing.
Exactly. What's the word? Guardian. See, I'm not perfect. Guardian. So
Right,
either you're a parent or you're a guardian, right?
Sure.
You will get an email from me every single day. 7 days, you'll have an activity to do with your child or whoever it is you're taking care of.
Right.
At the end of the 7th day, you are ready, or your child is ready to launch their business. And so I put this together, working with my coach, and then I said, you know what, my goal is about 100 kids. If I can get 100 kids in the program, it'd be great. Well, I'm there. There's about 100 kids in the program today.
Yeah, congratulations. And it's only been running for a few
less
weeks
than
now,
4
right?
weeks. Yeah,
Yeah,
less than 4 weeks.
awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I launched this. This is crazy because anytime you launch something, there's a lot of work behind it, as you know,
Sure,
Brandon.
Sure.
I put this thing together literally in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I created a website. I created all of the stuff that's behind the scenes that people wouldn't know about.
Wait. Now you got a day job though. How are you getting all this done?
Exactly. So my flying time now, I was on a flight this week.
Okay.
Guess what it was? I didn't snooze.
No.
I didn't read. I was working on programs.
Awesome.
Like this, right?
Awesome.
And so I'm using every ounce of time that I have, right? Travel time. I'm on a plane. I used to snooze. I used to I'm going to take a nap.
This is me
right?
time.
That's me time. That's,
right.
No, there's no me time. I mean, there is me time when I work out, but on the plane, I am productive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I get to the airport. I'm productive. I don't chat. I don't idle chat with anybody. I have things to do.
No single serving friends.
No. Exactly. It'd be like, well, you don't talk to me. No, I have stuff to do. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Now, if you're really nice, I can talk to you, but then I'm gonna shut it down because I got stuff to do.
Sure.
And so I'm productive using my time that way. And that's how I really kind of got this program up and running. So we have a private Facebook group. It's for the parents, and the kids are part of that. And then this is amazing. I was able to work with a very successful entrepreneur who began his business in his home. He recently sold it for $100 million. And that number boggles is crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah, it is. I'm like, because you're like, what, 10,000? No, he sold it for $100 million.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I share that story with you, not to inflate his ego, but he's extremely successful. But he's an angel investor. So what he's going to do is every single week, I put out an activity for the child to do. Okay. And the parent has to post, obviously, in the Facebook group. And then we do a random drawing, and then the winner wins a financial award.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that money is to be used for the purpose to advance their business.
Right. Now, what is the time investment that you guys kind of figure that it runs for a week, right?
Yeah, it runs for a week. The largest day, and I made this purposely. The hardest day is day 3, and it's the math. It's the finance day. It's right. Okay. It's getting behind the numbers. Okay. Looking at your cost, looking at your price, looking at your profit margins, all of that. That's the longest day, and that took my daughter and I about 30 minutes to 40 minutes. Oh, that's the longest. That's the long. And then I purposely made, like, the next day it's a 5-minute activity. Okay. So I made it so that it's not a lot of time investment per day, but the biggest day kind of happens all, right in the middle of the program. Right. Okay. Yeah.
What are some of the success stories that you've had?
Yeah. So some of the success stories, there's a 15-year-old kid. He contacted me and he's like, hey, because the program is meant for 8 to 14 or 7 to 14. Okay. So he contacts me and he tells me what his idea is. An idea is to start a car detailing business for the summer. 15 years old, asked to be a part of the group. I said, sure, absolutely. He has his own Facebook page, and I'm like, I'm like, okay, sure, we'll invite you. This kid is on fire. All right. He has his business name, his tagline, and then he sends me a question. Say, Cardiff, I want to send out flyers. What's the best way? Right. Should I just put them on, people's, doors? And I said, no, just talk to people. Right. talk to people. And I said, talk about the benefit on their side, about a nice car, about the experience, about driving, you know, a clean car. And then he does that on a Saturday. At the Saturday evening, he sends me a message. I have my first customer.
That's awesome. That's
first
great.
customer.
That's
first
great.
In less than a couple hours.
That's
and I said, okay, now once you do a nice job for him, over deliver for that customer, and then have him give you a testimonial, and then say, who do you know? And I'll give you a discount on your next car wash or your detailing. That's where I've got a pair. It's not me, but in the program, there's a pair of daughters that are pastry makers. These girls are. Do you watch Food Network?
Like, yeah, come on now. Yeah, you
okay.
got to.
Well,
you got to.
Okay, yeah, my wife does. And there's a show with like all these kid like chefs.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching one pastry. There were like 8 or 9-year-old girls, and they're just killing it in the kitchen and pastry and making. I have a pair of again, the group in the side of this group, there's a pair of the sisters that are pastry makers. And I'm like, this is amazing. Doing some amazing things. They've got their business up and running. I have another story, Brandon. There's a kid who is creating comic books, and he's doing all the artwork himself.
Nice. Comic books.
And I'm thinking, wow, just to be able to do that. And he has how many comic books he wants to sell, and he already has his sales price of that.
Right.
I mean, another guy, he's a trading card thing. I mean, stories after stories, and I'm hearing these things, and I'm getting a response from the parents and the guardians are like, what an amazing program.
Yeah.
And it's completely free.
Here's what I love. Here's what not only do I love that you're offering it for free, I love that you supported your daughter's vision, right? Your daughter comes down, and it means that much to you. You know, a lot of people talk about making the time for their child. Not only did you make the time to hear her out, you also took the time to bring her idea to fruition and then shared it with the world. And now you're allowing, you know, something that she, you know, had brought in to be shared with the world. And I think that's amazing. I really do.
Just to see, you know what's really inspiring is to see the young minds work. Yeah. You know, because, you know, again, I'm almost 50-year-old, but when I was growing up, when I was a kid, but you know what, we had paper routes. I remember my first job, I was even 16, and I was doing stuff, and I was getting money. There's something that's lost, something that's gone. There aren't kids that are doing that. And I just wanted to, you know, let's create young minds, entrepreneurs, show them that it is possible to create their own income for the summer. Right. And then I have specific goals. Like, what are the goals for this that they want to do? Right. It's, I'm blessed. Of course, I've had somebody help me to launch this and bring it to fruition, but the impact that it's made, not only on my daughter, on me, and, you know, just to see her mind, man, it's wow. There's young minds are just impressive. Just really, they're amazing.
To me, it's a lot like they haven't been able to grasp what's not possible yet.
Right.
So everything is still, they can still dream. They can still dream. I mean, we get locked away. We get in prison for about 20, 23 years or so, from like our 20s to right about now. We're like, wait a second, exactly. I had a dream, and you know, I didn't act on it. And I don't know if it's like, you know, is it midlife crisis? I don't think it's midlife crisis. I like to look at it as like we get a second chance. We get to say, hold on a second, wait a second. I'm feeling this thing that I haven't felt for a while. What is this? And it all bubbles back up. And now we're finally able to be, you know, what would you do if you had all the knowledge that you had 20, you know what I mean? That statement. So now now it's like we've got that revitalized dream, and we've actually got the wisdom and the way to put it forward. Forward.
Well, exactly. And the thing that we're instilling in these kids right today. So we're putting all of this mental acuity into them. They're like, hey, anything is possible. They're starting these programs. Even if they don't meet their goals, they still tried. They still went through it, and like, you know what? That was really cool. You're giving them an experience. And like, I want to do this. And for those Yeah, I mean, I can go on about these kids, but I'm overwhelmed. I mean, because I people from all over I got people from Canada, people from US, all over have found this program, and I'm blessed they found it. But they've got to do the work with the child. I mean, but to see them work, to see them shine, to see these kids hold up at the end of the program. Brandon, I don't give this away up front, so don't tell your kids if you're listening to this right now what they get. But on day 8, they get, okay, it's a 7-day program. On bonus day, right? On bonus day, they get a certificate, and it allows them to sign their name that they've completed this program. That's and awesome. It means something to them. And I just had a lady send me, matter of fact, she took a picture of it with her kid and sent it to me. And and the kids' smiles are just radiant, right? That's what Tide Turners is all about. It's instilling that ability at a young age. And I'm going to build out this brand of Tide Turner Kids. That's why I'm working on Tide Turner Kids book in the fall to come out. But if we can instill this, we talked about the 6 masks, right?
Right.
About resilient, right? Positive attitude. What if we transformed this generation of children? Wow.
Man.
Well,
absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's awesome, man.
I mean, I really feel like that's kind of where we're at, like where you're at, where I feel like my space is at, right? Like this is we have an opportunity to really revolutionize.
Yes.
I don't think that I bandy that term about loosely, because it's everywhere that I'm going and talking, everywhere that I'm talking to, or people that they're feeling the same thing. And so it's pretty powerful. I do believe it's a movement. I mean, you're working on your end, you're doing amazing things.
Thanks, man. You too.
I really think that, the program's awesome. I'm guessing, there's going to be a follow up to the
it's version 1.0. Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
It's 1.0. And the thing is, here's amazing. The thing. This is so funny. I it came again real quick, right? So there are issues. It's kind of like, you get the app and then you're getting forced down, revisions, right? Fix this bug and that's what I had to do because it wasn't perfect.
Sure.
But thankful to good people like, hey, you know what? This doesn't work. And I even had it beta tested. So I went through it myself. I had somebody else go through it as a beta tester. We thought we had all the kinks out.
Sure.
You know what? It's not perfect, but people are cool with that.
Yeah.
Parents are fine. I get them the information like, oh, great. Thank you so much. I'm moving on to the next day.
Yeah.
And there will be a version 2.0. I'll kick this up again at the end, at the holidays to see if anybody wants to do anything for that holiday break.
Yeah.
To make, babysitting, start clearing out leaves,
Well,
whatever.
I'm going to throw it out there. I mean, my children, we go to a year-round school.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't. Is this a program that's only available during the summer, or?
Well, I was gonna. Well, and see, this is I love collaboration because my mindset was okay. Kids, have the break, and then they, go back to school, and then there's a little break. So intently, it was like, okay, summer up to Labor Day, and then we take the break, and then we start off again in the holiday break.
Yeah.
But if kids are going around the clock to school. Yes, this could be a year-round program that I just kind of tweak and modify through the year. Interesting. Thanks for letting me know.
No. We are the children go to school for 9 weeks and they're off for 3 weeks. They're on a track system, so that what happens is there's always one track out of school because there's not enough room in the schools that in the area that we're at. So that's a big thing in North Carolina, where
interesting,
which is where I'm at. Like I said, so they are on again on for 9,
off for 3.
Yeah,
3 weeks is enough time to start a business.
They can do some damage. Yeah,
absolutely. You think about, okay, leaves, yard raking of, I'm an outside, I loved outside work. So my outside work when I was young was all about outside raking leaves, mowing lawns, but I told someone, I said, you know what, if someone would come up and knock on my door, a high schooler, and said, hey, I'm mowing lawns. I'll mow your lawn for $20 a week.
Right.
I wouldn't even hesitate.
Sure.
Because you're freeing up my time.
Yeah.
You're helping me, and that's what I'm getting across to these kids. Like, think of a service or product that could help people solve something on their end.
Yeah.
Solve a problem.
I'm signing up. Just saying, I'm signing
Yeah.
up. Like, I know I'm signing up. My kids are actually getting ready to be
Awesome,
off again already, and this is something I think that they would both of them, 5 and 7.
Perfect.
I think
5-year-old,
that
yeah, you could, but the 7-year-old definitely.
yeah. Look,
Yeah.
look. I if I put one thing in front of the other one's got to do
Oh
it.
yeah, like
So,
what about me? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even like a what about me. He wants to beat his older brothers. It's just how it is. It's the sibling rivalry.
Right. Awesome, man. I'd love to have you in the community as well. We have
Absolutely.
We have a Facebook group, and that's where the angel investor is, and that's why I'm like, hey guys, because it's funny. I have almost 100 kids, so you would think there's 100 people, right? 100 adults, but only about 8 of them are in the Facebook group. And so that's one thing I'm trying. I continue to post in every single email that you'll see, Brandon. There, I talk about it in every single. You can't miss this Facebook group, right?
Yeah.
And so some parents don't want to do that because that's fine.
Yeah.
But anytime you get a group that's committed to a process.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean, that's where magic can happen, because now even, I've got, there's 2 pairs of these pastry,
the girls.
girls. Well, they're in different cities. They're completely across the country.
Oh, wow.
They can learn from each other.
That's great.
Right.
That's great. Yeah,
so they learn from each other and they grow, and it's just awesome to see that. But, yeah, I love to have you in the group, and love to have you listening right now. If you have kids, and it's really 7 to 14, but if you have an older, 17 or 16-year-old, I would say pushing 16, that's about it, because we do have some 7-year-olds in the group. But, I've got a 16-year-old girl. She contacted me, and she has her own business, and she wanted to be part of the group. And I said, fine, let me see what your business is about. And I had her to the group. So it's, yeah, you know what? Brandon, I think I just may make this thing run throughout the year.
Yeah. No, you know what? I mean, I want to talk to you after this.
Let's
chat for a minute after this. There's a couple just quick ones for you that. So you've got your 6 masks, right? Like I've also got what I like to call like five foundations of fatherhood, right? I'd love you to just like talk to one of these 5, if I could, just kind of get when I say it, what you think about it. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, if I say show up every day, what does that bring to mind? Presence.
Be present.
Okay.
And that's hard to do. I'm telling you, it's hard. As a father, as I walk in the door, I'm like, oh, what this thing, you can't see it, but I'm holding up my mobile device.
Right.
That thing will take your life over.
Yeah.
It will. Fathers, it will take, and ladies, it will take your life over, but you have to manage it. So when you said that, I just thought about presence. Be present. Don't be talking to your children and trying to be on the cell phone, and it doesn't work. Put it, even if you put it, lock it away so you don't get to it, and say, okay, I check Facebook, I do this, Twitter, I'll do that when the kids are down and sleeping.
Sure.
Be present with them.
Yeah. I love that. That actually kind of leads into the next piece that I always say, be mindful. What does that mean to you?
Be aware of your actions and your words and how they impact others.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's what we do. Just be mindful of, I would say, actions and words.
Actions and words. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's self-explanatory. Because your actions will speak louder than your words, but what comes out of your mouth, it reverberates.
It does. Right? It does have an impact.
Yeah, it has an impact, either negatively, positively, wherever. But but those 2 things.
Absolutely. Be adaptable.
Flexible. Schedule. For me. And again, I'm a maximizer. So if you look at my schedule, I know exactly what I'm doing when I'm doing. Right? Boom, 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 because I'm getting things done, I'm crushing it.
Right.
I say that, because that's what I do.
It's just who I am.
That's who I am. Okay, so now something happens, and for me, I'm just using a story for me, and then I've got to change my whole schedule.
Right.
That to me, that's
uncomfortable, huh?
That's uncomfortable. But that's that. When you just said that, the schedule thing just popped in my mind.
Yeah.
For those of you that are like listening, they're like, I can resonate with Cardiff. That happens to me. But we just have to breathe in, and breathe out. Okay, I got this.
Well,
I can do this.
like you
And
spoke
we were,
earlier, though, you've got your moment to be adaptable, and you took that
yeah,
time off for your daughter last
yeah,
week,
yep,
right?
yeah. Oh man, it's awesome.
And you said to yourself, all right, well, which one of these is going to serve my life best,
Yes,
right? And you said,
yes,
all right, look, in this moment, I can certainly be adaptable in that situation.
right,
So
right.
I love that. I love that. Always learn.
Oh, always learn. Invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Invest in yourself. And that's one thing that, quite frankly, I didn't do very well up till 5 years ago. And now I just purchased a course for $297. That's a lot of money,
Yeah.
297. But you know what? I've purchased things from this person before, and they're brilliant. And I've been able to act on some of those things. And one of the things, again, Darren Hardy, he talks about allocating 10% of your gross finances to your personal development. 10%.
Yeah.
And so I'm like looking at mine, like, ooh, I'm not even close to 10%. Right? But that's what he recommends.
Yeah.
And that's, if you talk to all of the successful, like, take 10% and allocate it to growing.
Okay. Yeah.
To it could be, and maybe it's a hobby you want to do. Okay, let's say, and my wife is in culinary, and she wants to do culinary stuff. Okay,
Right.
so she's investing in herself, right? It doesn't have to be books.
Right.
It could be something fun that you like to do. It could be a hobby, like, you know what, I want to do this better. I want to be able to do this. Invest in yourself and learn.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I'm in.
Yeah.
And to me too, that speaks to being in the gym and getting a trainer and having somebody there to help you invest in yourself, invest in your health too.
Yeah. I'll tell you the story real quick. My neighbor is a CrossFit trainer, and I work out 4 to 5 days a week, and I think I'm in good shape. He invites me to his gym.
Sure.
And so I'm like, sure, I'll do you a favor, Brad. I'll go to your gym. I'll do this CrossFit thing, whatever. We did simple extra. We did no weight. We did simple, like, pull-ups, push-ups, squats, like going to this, like, this ball, simple exercises that were timed in this, like, timing thing, if you know CrossFit. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
It stretched me mentally, physically. I was like, this is CrossFit? Oh my. And so I shared that because I learned something about myself. Because I was like, I don't need to do that, and so
I got this, Brad. I got this.
Yeah, exactly.
Check it out, Brad. Check out the guns.
But I got uncomfortable because it was something I wasn't used to.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this isn't for elite people.
Are you still in it?
We do one a month. We do once a month.
Okay.
And they've gotten better. Okay. But boy, I tell you, if you haven't tried, if you like to work out, you've never tried CrossFit, go to a CrossFit gym. Okay. Just to see what it's all about. It's just impressive.
Look, maybe my wife keeps going. She keeps telling me to go.
I'm telling you, check it out, man. She's not joking. She's not joking.
No, I know she's not. To be honest with you, I just don't want her to, look better than me in front of everybody else. I mean, come on now. I've got absolutely no image to uphold. I should be honest. I've got none to uphold, so it really wouldn't matter. But
you're too much.
And the last one is, when I say love, and this is again foundations and fatherhood, just love.
Yeah, I think closest are loved ones, right? Those of us that married, significant other, wherever you are, just being truly having love for that person, right? And just caring for that person. That's what comes to mind when you say that. But then what also comes to mind are people that you don't know. Mm-hmm. People that you see on the street, you're like, oh, look at that. You make fun of them, mm-hmm. right? Oh, they don't, one of the things that I try to do, and, people may say that's the wrong thing to do, but I saw a family, a family, young children, and the mom and the dad, and we were coming out of Home Depot, and I pulled on parking lot. I said, and I had my daughter with me. I said, Molly, I said, let's go to that grocery store and get a gift card. She's like, wait, why are we getting a gift card? I said, I want to get a gift card to give to that family.
Okay.
And she's like, really? Yeah. So we went, I got a gift card. I drove back. They were still there. And I rolled down my window. I said, come over here. And I gave him a gift card.
Yeah.
And man, that to me says love. I don't know these people from Adam.
No.
I saw them holding the sign up. I saw the children. And I said, you know what? No child should go hungry.
Right.
No child should go hungry. I can give away whatever, I can take the time out of my day, go get a gift card, and so they can have at least a dinner tonight. And so that's what I did. So when you say that word, I think of loved ones, or immediate family members, but then I think of people that you see in the streets, you see that are less fortunate than you, and being able to help them in some way, some fashion.
And to me, that I agree wholeheartedly. Right, you've got to when you're out there and you're seeing the people out there, it's real easy to judge. It's real easy to judge and put something else in your heart other than love. And to me, I really feel like you fill your heart up with love. That's what you got to give.
Yeah. And I heard this, I think Rick Warren said, you cannot give what you do not have.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't have love, you can't give love. If you don't have generosity, you're not going to be generous. Right. Yeah. And so I'm a believer in things that if you give, you will receive love in whatever fashion or form.
I love it. Perfect. Yeah. Now, all right, we'll draw to a close here. I'll give one final one I always like to ask, just because I think that it's a fun one. Molly, you said her name was Molly?
Yeah, Molly.
So what would be one thing that you would like to say to Molly in like 10 years? She picks this up in 10 years. What would be something you would say to her?
Okay, so she's going to be 18. She'll be in college.
Be home by midnight.
One thing that I would say to her, is that one thing I would say to her?
What message you would like to leave for her?
Message is that don't put a cap on your abilities. Allow your mind to take you where you'd like to go, and go for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I think with you by our side, I think she's already going to be there for sure. For sure.
I appreciate that.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, that's an easy one for her. I think she's going to be there with you. You want to rattle off some of your social media, bud?
Oh, yeah. So you can connect with me at Cardiff D Hall. That's on all social media platforms. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Cardiff D Hall. My website's CardiffDHall.com. And I have a special gift for you. You've been awesome. You've been hanging around with Brandon and I for this length of the podcast. So I know you are true to yourself. So I want you to head over to CardiffDHall/fatherhood, CardiffDHall.com/fatherhood. You will get a free downloadable copy of Tide Turners.
Man,
free.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I really appreciate you doing that for the listeners.
Absolutely.
And you guys out there, I promise you, this will be time well spent. It's a wonderful book. When you talk about just getting just one nugget out of a book, I believe that there's a lot more than just one nugget, to be certain. And one of the things I really enjoyed about it was just the variation, just by using the tide, the ocean. It just I was able to put it into a perspective that was fresh and new for me.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Absolutely.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. It's great. And my author coach helped me with all of this. Of course I do the writing, but that's the framework. The framework is about this wave that we're in. And if we're not careful, we're going to end up off course. And then we're going to have regrets. And there's a book called The Regrets of the Dying. And if you read that book, you have all of these, I coulda, I shoulda, I wish I did this. I wish I would have loved more. I wish I would have put my cell phone away. I wish I was home for my kids' baseball game. I wish.
Yeah.
No, And the tie turners that I know, people who are tie turners, and you'll see as you download this, there's going to be a page where you're able to insert your own name, write your own name, and you claim yourself a tie turner. And I want you to be that. I want you to implement the actions and the steps in this process so you can navigate the boat called you.
Awesome, Cardiff. Thanks again for being on with us today with Fatherhood for the Rest of Us. And like I said, guys, go out, get the book. Do not hesitate.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandon. It's been fantastic.